Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Daily EPL Talk. We do have a lot of things lined up for you today, especially the Newcastle fans who would want to know what Eddie Howe brings to Newcastle club. Finally, Newcastle has got a manager. It's Steve Bruce is gone, and the era of the Sheikhs have started. So, exactly what Eddie Howe will bring, we will give you a complete insight to that. Apart from that, we also give you a daily news and our regular video of the day. So let's get started. First of all, let's start with the video of the day and I'll play that to you.
Well, as you can see, uh, got a little injured. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I'm gonna do probably on the scan in those days to see how bad it is. And yeah, we're here, but we're gonna come back strong. You already know. We don't lose faith. We don't lose the positive vibe. Keep smiling. Everything happens for a reason. We blessed still, and you're gonna come back, and we keep it up. That's how it is. Okay, my guys, thank you again for the support. All love. God bless you all. And we're going to be back soon. Yes, sir.
Right, so that was the video of the day from Paul Pogba. And the reason why we chose this to be the video of our day was because not just the fact that everything that's going on with Manchester United, but also the fact that the video tells a lot of stories in the backdrop. Just look at the words that he says. We know that the players can't be direct in terms of what they communicate with the fans because they need to consider the club ethos as well as the manager likings to what they speak out in front of the media or even the social media. But if you hear some of the words that he used, will come back stronger, will come back when and keep it going. So those are the things. And now the question really comes to the mind is he talking in context of Manchester United that, keep smiling and just basically he has given up on the fact that Manchester United is now a closed chapter and now he's basically looking forward to the January transfer window and looking forward to his new club, whichever that may be, whether it's Real Madrid or whether it's Juventus or whether even it's Barcelona. So most likely those are the three destinations. PSG may still have an outside chance, but PSG is currently super overcrowded. I mean, you can think about Gini Wijnaldum, right? He went there with all the hopes, and there is absolutely nothing that he's able to do out there. So it really remains to be seen. But this video we thought was pretty cryptic in terms of what message he brings, and this probably might just give the kind of break that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was looking for. He has to currently fit in three superstars. One is Donny van Beek, the other is Jordan Sancho, and the third is Cristiano Ronaldo. Three superstars that he has to fit in, along with his other superstars like Bruno Fernandes, like Paul Pogba. So it's a team of superstars, but not a team. So how exactly without Paul Pogba, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will benefit or regress? That remains to be seen from next week. And speaking of next week, this is an international break, so I would like to remind the fans that Premier League Museum or EPL 24x7 will be coming up with its weekly international break roundup this Sunday. Uh, Well, this time it won't be Sunday because there will be matches going on. So we will be coming up with a weekly roundup on Monday and we will cover every question that we have asked from every club so far. So please do remember to join us. We will share the timings and the link with you as well. So continuing with our next topic, which is the news for the day. So, what are the news for the day? Well, the first news for the day is Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard and even John Terry have been tipped for vacancies at Aston Villa and Norwich City. So we know that over the weekend, Daniel Farr got sacked as well as Dean Smith got sacked. So unfortunately, they haven't come up with any names to confirm yet, but we know that Frank Lampard, who got out of job against Chelsea after Chelsea's stint last season, he is definitely in the running. I think whether it's Aston Villa or whether it's Norwich City, both will be a good platform for Frank Lampard to again come back and showcase his skills. Both have got youth players, both have got the kind of ethos or the kind of identity that Frank Lampard would allude to. So definitely Frank Lampard has good choice at hands. And Steven Gerrard, well, Steven Gerrard is a good confusion to come over because does he leave Rangers? Does he come back into the ruthless? And we will talk about that ruthlessness in Premier League in the later update as well. But Steven Gerrard and John Terry have also been tipped. The next update is from Manchester United. So the news that has come out is a lot of players are baffled that why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has gone a week off when actually his methods aren't working. His coaches are coming under a lot of pressure, and Paul Pogba is not there, and yet the manager has just given them a week off and asked them to come back after a week, which kind of has confused the folks. The next news is I know it's not a Premier League news, but it's still related to Premier League because we kind of are baffled by the fact that Xavi, who is just joining not English Premier League, but Barcelona as a club, and he has decided to ridicule Ole and Lampard. Basically, he was being asked that compare your manager stints as a former player with other former players who have come back as managers, and he said, "Well, I would like to be uh, in Zidane and Pep Guardiola kind of managerial brackets rather than Ole and Lampard's," which kind of is very mean and demeaning because you have nothing proven yet, and we know the mess that Barcelona is in. So quite interesting that Xavi decided to ridicule Ole and Lampard. And the last one is from Nuno, who has admitted that, well, this sacking at Tottenham came from nowhere as surprise. He was surprised as well as he's not surprised because he knows that this league is pretty ruthless in terms of the expectations from the manager. So those really were the news updates that I had. And finally, the topic that I want to talk about as well as the love the most, which is what Eddie Howe brings to Newcastle. So we researched about it, and let's go one by one amongst the points that we think what will happen to Newcastle. So the very first point is fixtures. That's what determines. And if you look at the fixture list that Newcastle has, it's a pretty tough one, I would say, as well as it's a kind of mixed bag because if you see, they have Arsenal to play against Brentford, Norwich, who we know are all good players of the ball. So it kind of plays into Newcastle style if, let's say, Eddie Howe really gets to do his magic. But also, he has some gritty matches against Burnley as well as Newcastle in December. So, easier run to begin with in November, but definitely getting tougher in December. Yet, it brings both excitement and both risk because, number one, Eddie Howe, well, he was probably not there amongst the list of managers who were supposed to be there. They were looking for some high profile managers. They were talking about the Brendan Rodgers and the Fonsecas and the Steven Gerrards, but then Eddie Howe came in, and the richest club in the world now going to a manager who has been blotted with the relegation and whose previous stints have only been Burnley and Bournemouth. So this came up as a pretty much a surprise, but that's where we'd come next, right? What it matches up to ambitions of the owners. Well, they wanted a owner who, when a previous coach was, he revealed exactly what was their style of picking up the new manager, and they said that the presentation that came from new manager was pretty detailed and pretty well carved out in terms of the vision they have for the club, as well as the money that they are pouring in. So it was a pretty detailed plan, and obviously Unai Emery was also asked about it, and I think what we are hearing is that what impressed the Newcastle owners is the kind of detailed plan, the plan right up to the level of the players, exactly what he will do with each player, that impressed the directors Stavely as well as Jamie Rubens. So that's basically the other aspect which worked for Eddie Howe, and that's what he will bring to uh, the club as well, which is a meticulous planning, a hard work, as well as strong ethos and excitement and risk we've already talked about. And the third thing that he will bring is the familiar players. We have a lot of familiar players currently in Newcastle squad. Matt Ritchie, Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser, they have all played under Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. They know what he is like. So there are some familiar players, plus Eddie Howe's attacking style will suit players like Saint Maximin. So we'll talk more about that as well. But I think the fact that his inordinate amount of hours, energy spent into researching Newcastle squad, knowing the squad even before he joined formally as the manager, will definitely help the club in performing better. That's what is the expectation. And then, obviously, in the other side, if you see, it's a quite a uncharted territory for Newcastle. I don't think we should forget the days of bringing Shearer in as manager as well, which turned out pretty badly because he had to witness a relegation. Now, what will happen to Eddie Howe, we don't know, because this is the first time in 128-year history they have gone 11, yes, more than my fingers on the hand, 11 league games without a win, and they probably would not have wanted a manager like Eddie Howe who has got relegation. Rather, they would have wanted a manager who have successfully navigated out of relegation. So it really is an uncharted territory for Newcastle. How they will perform, we'll come to see. And then the defensive issues. Now the reality is that Newcastle have been letting in 2.2 goals per league game. Yes, that's more than 2 goals every league game. And that's not what sits into Eddie Howe's forte. His forte is more on attacking style football. And when the questions were asked about Bournemouth and how they will cope defensively, he failed miserably. He could only help navigate the attacking style of the game, but not the defensive style. And here in Newcastle, the problem is not the attack, it's the problem is the defense. So how will he navigate that? That will come up with a big challenge. And lastly, we want to talk also about Eddie Howe, right? One of the former persons who has worked with Eddie Howe says that he was a very big in stressing that every day you need to come in and challenge yourself. You need to want it. It might seem like a small thing, but it was just a bit of extra motivation for the players. So something that Eddie Howe is renowned for, which is meticulous planning, hard work, getting the team together, believe in his methods, and those are things which had made him successful. So what he will do at Newcastle, we don't know, but definitely some of the attributes that Eddie Howe brings. So this brings us to an end of this episode. How do you find it? Please do let us know, and do like, subscribe, as well as share this video. And you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on YouTube by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And we will see you later. Thank you.